So you wanna build the best PC for your budget, but choosing the right PC parts, considering the inflated prices and endless benchmarks is not easy. That's why today we are cutting through the noise and I will show you the top 3 best builds for every budget and every resolution. We are going through a budget PC that delivers smooth performance at 1080p resolution. Then we're gonna go through the best price to performance 1440p system, in case you're looking for the sweet spot PC. And finally, we'll finish with the ultimate rig for 4K ultra settings, or if you want the fastest future-proof gaming PC that you can build. You will find the link to every system with some alternatives down below in the video description with the latest pricing and availability in your region. My name is Valentino. That being said, let's start. First, we'll start by talking about the best budget system for 1080p resolution, and you can also run some 1440p gaming with this system. Here, I went with a Ryzen 5 7600X processor, which at the moment is the best price to performance CPU in the entire market, and it will allow you to play games like Valorant, CS2, or just any esports shooter at 240 plus FPS on average at 1080p resolution. So feel free to go with a 240Hz, possibly 360Hz display if you want to compete in these type of games. Now the CPU is very important, but if you want the best gaming performance, the GPU is what matters the most. And here I went with the Nvidia RTX 5060 Ti 16GB model, which as of right now is going on a great discount for $380. So this GPU is amazing when it comes to 1080p ultra settings, even in the most high demanding games. So there's literally no game that you can't run at 1080p. And then you can also use it for 1440p resolution gaming if you want to play at 70 plus FPS on average in high demanding games at this resolution. So overall, you are getting great performance for both 1080p and 1440p. And of course, you can also use it for 4K depending on the game. If you want to play very easy to run games, like for example GTA 5 or Minecraft, of course, you can use this system for 4K as well. But if you want to play the latest AAA titles, I wouldn't recommend you buying a 4K monitor for this system. For the rest of the components, you get a great motherboard with Wi-Fi included and great VRMs. Then you get amazing cooling overall with an aftermarket CPU cooler, and also the Montec X5M case, which has plenty of airflow, 4 pre-installed RGB fans, so you don't have to worry about installing fans yourself. Overall, you get amazing airflow and cooling for your CPU, and then you get 32GB of DDR5 memory in case you want a high level of streaming, productivity work, and content creation performance. Overall, this PC is the best one that you can build, in my opinion, for under $1,000. As of right now, this PC goes for $940. Now, if that's a little too much for you and you want to spend less than $850, I do recommend you downgrading the CPU from the Ryzen 5 7600X to the i5 13400F, and then the graphics card from the 5060 Ti to the RX 9060 XT 16GB model. Now, as of right now, by the time of filming, the difference in price between AMD and Nvidia is very little, and for most people I would recommend Nvidia, but most of the time the price difference is higher. So if you're watching this and the price difference between the 5060 Ti and 9060 XT is only about $30, by all means go with Nvidia. But if it's over $50 and you're looking to save up some money, the 9060 XT will be the best price to performance. Now, if you make these changes with the right motherboard, the total price for this system will be around $830, and you will still achieve amazing performance for 1080p and 1440p resolution. With the 9060 XT, you are achieving the same level of rasterized performance as the 5060 Ti 16GB model. Now, don't worry if you got lost, because you will have the cheaper PC alternative down below in the description box as well for you to get the best PC for the price that you're seeking. Let's switch to the best value gaming PC that you can build right now. This is, in my opinion, the best price to performance one, because it's definitely not the most expensive system out there, and it will allow you to play any game that you want at 1440p high to ultra settings, and you can also use it for some 4K gaming. Now, for the CPU, I went with the same Ryzen 5 7600X because, as I said before, this is the best price to performance CPU in the entire market, in my opinion. And again, you will be able to have a high refresh rate monitor, so feel free to go with a 240 or 360Hz 1440p display if you want to play esports games. And then for the graphics card, I went with the Nvidia RTX 5070, which as of right now is actually one of the best value graphics cards in the entire market because it's going on a discount for $499, which is $50 below its MSRP. Now, the 5070 is a beast of a 1440p resolution graphics card, so you can play any game that you want at 1440p, even the high demanding ones, high to ultra settings, and still achieve around 80 to 90 plus FPS on average, which is really good performance. And of course, if you want to use this PC for 1080p, you will be maxing out 1080p no matter the game, and it can be a little bit of an overkill depending on the games that you want to play at 1080p. And as I said before, at 4K, you can use it for some games if you are willing to turn on DLSS, which is the upscaler from Nvidia, and it works amazingly well to play high demanding games, high to ultra settings 60 plus FPS on average without any issues. Also, this PC has better airflow because you get the Lian Li Langcool 207 case, which is one of the best cases in the entire market in my opinion when it comes to price to performance. Then you get a more premium quality motherboard and you get 2TB of Gen 4 SSD, so you get plenty of storage to install games or just any program that you may want to install. Maybe you're a content creator and you need more storage. This is going to be a huge plus. Now, if you're a content creator, this system is also great overall because you are getting 32GB of RAM and the total price will be under $1,200 by the time of filming, which is again a really solid price. So that's why I do think that this one is the best price to performance system that you can get right now in the entire market. And by the way, if you have a little bit more money to spend and you want to make this PC the best price to performance system for 4K resolution, because maybe you want to play at 4K or you want to max out 1440p resolution, then I do recommend you upgrading the CPU to the Ryzen 7 7700X. You get 8 cores instead of 6 cores, which will be useful if you're a content creator or you want to do some type of productivity work. And then I do recommend you upgrading the graphics card from the 5070 to the 5070 Ti. Now, the Ti version is going to be quite faster, especially at 4K, so you will be achieving well over 80 plus FPS in high demanding games, high to ultra settings, or even faster performance if you turn on DLSS quality. So overall, the 5070 Ti is a much better choice if you are playing at 4K and you want a nice price to performance system, or again, if you want to max out 1440p, because the 5070 Ti can max out any game at 1440p, even if you want to play with ray tracing enabled. By making these upgrades, the total price will be around $1,500, which is still a solid price, especially if you're looking for a 4K machine. Now, remember, you will have all the links for these upgrades, downgrades, and every alternative down below in the description box. And then if money is not a thing to you, you just want the best performance, then I have two systems for you. The first one is going to be the maxed out PC for just any task, whether it's gaming, content creation, or productivity work. Here you get the Ryzen 9 9950X3D, which is the fastest CPU in the market for both gaming and content creation at the same time. And then you get the Nvidia RTX 5090, which is the fastest graphics card in the market, and it will allow you to play any game that you want at 4K ultra settings. It's also amazing when it comes to future proofing, so if you want to play the most high demanding games in the near future, the 5090 will definitely be the best option. Now here you get a 360mm liquid cooler, which looks amazing. You also get a premium quality case with plenty of airflow in the King 95 Pro, and then you get 64GB of DDR5 memory for those content creators out there, and 4TB total of Gen 4 SSD. So this is a very complete system, and again, I would only recommend you buying this if you don't care about money or if you're looking for the best investment if you are a professional content creator. The total price for this system will be around $4,200, which is very expensive. And then the second PC I want to show you is a 5090 system designed for gaming more than content creation. Here I went with a different CPU in the Ryzen 7 9800X3D, which is still the fastest CPU in the market for gaming alongside the 9950X3D, but it is slightly slower when it comes to content creation and productivity work. However, for most people, you will not notice the difference. And then I also changed the SSD to 2TB, which is still plenty of storage, and the memory to 32GB of RAM, which is way more than enough for gaming and for most people if you want to do content creation or productivity work anyway. By making these downgrades, the price will be around $3,500, which is around $700 cheaper than the older system, and it will provide the same level of gaming performance. So again, if you're mainly looking for the best gaming system out there and content creation or productivity work is not your main thing, this PC will be much better because you are saving $700. Now, you may not care, and if you don't care, by all means go with the first one, but if you do care a little bit about your wallet, even though you are spending a lot of money, then I do recommend you getting the second PC. And if you're looking for a pre-built PC instead, because not everyone wants to build a PC themselves, and I completely understand that, then I highly recommend you watching my video on the best pre-built gaming PCs of the month for every budget and every resolution. You will find that one in the top right corner of the screen. Thank you for watching, and I will see you on the next one.